Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike, and this is RetroGameFix.com Serial at Night, episode number 36. Out of the gate, I want to thank Blake J. Harris for coming on the Retro Jones podcast, number 80, and giving us an amazing interview. So if you have not listened to that, go listen to the Retro Jones podcast, episode number 80 on RetroGameFix.com. Also, housekeeping out of the way, questions at RetroGameFix.com, YouTube.com/RetroGameFix, or Facebook.com/RetroGameFix, or 678-995-5103. That's the phone number. But for today's Serial at Night episode, I don't know how deep I want to get into this, but it sounds like Microsoft is going to be offering a trade-up program for Project Scorpio. And so to do a quick summary, and you can listen to other podcasts that I've done, I've always felt that this iterative console release cycle was inevitable, right? So on the last gen systems, even though they touted 720p, 1080p, things like Call of Duty, 540p, no one cared. But then these new consoles came out, and they touted the same 1080p standard. And we found out, at least for the Xbox at the time, that it was oftentimes 900p with an upscaler. So you fast forward, now we have the Xbox S and the PlayStation Neo and all these other things that are going to release that can do 4K. Well, I'm going to say it right now. There might be some games that do 4K natively, but mostly it's going to probably be 4K upscaling. And you know what? In a closed environment, they might be able to squeeze 4K out at times for a lot of games, depending on how they dev them. That said, these iterative console releases, I don't think it should be a surprise for anybody. Technology is moving quick, really quick, and I don't think console release cycles can actually. Well, they can't make it 7 years anymore with how fast things are moving. You look at GPUs on the PC, you're getting a card every 2 years that doubles up what it was doing previously. And at some point, you have to keep up with that, right? It used to be that you'd get that new console, and it would outdo PC in a lot of ways. Not every way, right? PC has always had that first-person shooter niche, but you'd get that console, and you could feel pretty confident about it. With the last generation of releases, we actually hit a point where they released consoles that were way underpowered even compared to the graphics cards that were out on PC. And you can kind of see it based on the stats that have come out, right? Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are anywhere from 1.2 to 1.7 teraflops. And everybody can sit here and act like they're not geeks and say, well, I don't know what that means. Okay. You don't need to know what it means, but that's the computing power that these consoles have for graphics, essentially, and other things as far as AI and stuff like that. And so it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that a GPU like the 1080 can come out and do 9 teraflops when your Xbox One is doing 1.25. It doesn't take the most educated of people to realize that one is almost 9 times better, regardless if you understand what the fuck teraflop means. So, Project Scorpio, supposed to be 6 teraflops of computing power. I'm not going to get into the details of what teraflops are. PlayStation Neo, supposed to be 4.5, something like that. Here's the thing. With as fast as these things move, people are going to have to upgrade faster if they want to stay on the edge. Now, Xbox is shown a commitment to making sure that people, or Microsoft, people aren't completely left behind. In addition, when these things were announced, the comparison was always phone upgrade plans. Phone upgrade plans. I don't know what the hell they're doing with operating systems on phones, but I always upgrade my phone like every year. Probably every year. And all I do with it is still email and use the internet. And somehow I still end up finding my phone slow as shit every year. To the point that I'm like, I need to upgrade my phone to use the internet and email people. That said, gaming is not that. It's high fidelity graphics, artificial intelligence, a lot of crazy stuff. And we're now getting essentially new releases of these systems 3 years after the launch of the initial hardware. And again, the comparisons were made to phones. And the only thing I can say is, and I've said this on other podcasts, if gamers have become advanced enough to understand console gamers, and this is not to be disparaging in any way. Console gamers are now concerned about things like resolution and frame rate. And why wouldn't you? You want the best experience. But with that, if you're going to demand the best experience, then these manufacturers need to provide the best hardware. And there's just not enough time to do it. 7 years is not going to cut it anymore. And so, how do you do it? Well, you release iterative consoles. So, it just came out that Microsoft, and this is not confirmed, is going to provide some sort of upgrade program for Xbox One owners to upgrade to the Project Scorpio. I think that's great. And I think it makes it easy for people. Right at the end of the day, and same for PlayStation, and I hope they choose to do this as well. At the end of the day, if I can walk into a store or a Microsoft store, wherever it might be, and say, here's my Xbox One, I want to pay the extra $150, upgrade me, boom. You know what it does? I don't need to hit Craigslist, I don't need to hit eBay, I don't need to do shipping myself, I don't need to worry about negative feedback. None of that. The new one came out, I walk in, here's my old one, give me the new one. I hope it goes that smooth. Because there is some negative, there's a lot of negative on the internet about this as well. And I'm back to like the iterative console conversation. You can't complain about frame rate and resolutions, and then the company solves the problem by releasing a new console and then complain about it. And in the case of Microsoft, they've went as far as being like, got a great PC? All of the great Microsoft published games are going to be on PC. And then people are like, well, I don't need an Xbox. I don't think Microsoft gives a shit if you don't have an Xbox. They're not making barely any money on the hardware anyway. Right? Everybody forgets that Xbox is a brand. It's not the hardware that's in the box. Right? It's AMD parts and whatever parts are in the box, wrapped in a plastic shell that happens to play games. It's a PC. Don't know how else to break it to you. You know, Microsoft doesn't give a shit what hardware you're playing your game on. They don't. I mean, they don't. they make their margins on the games, especially in the digital future. And I've said this before. If Sony had that operating system inroad, Sony would be doing the same thing. But they don't. What Sony has is first-party games and first-party game developers. Right? We can't argue with that. Sony is putting out game after game after game after game coming in 2017. And I'm excited about that too. And that's why I'll continue to own a PlayStation. And I'll continue to own my Xbox. But I keep coming back to this iterative hardware thing where it's okay to be a console gamer. It's okay to be a PC gamer. It's okay to be an Xbox gamer. It's okay to be a PlayStation 4 gamer. We're getting to this place where hardware-wise, they're all iterative on each other. That's why it kind of blows my mind that the console has always kind of been an iterative release of the PC that you can just happen to put on your shelf. But we're just to the point where you have the choice of going, do I want a console? Do I want to build a PC? Do I want to play games on my phone? Do I want to stream games from my console to my PC? I mean, this is the best time to be a gamer. It is the best time to be a gamer. And that's why it surprises me how many people are angry. Because I don't think there's actually a reason to be angry. You can play what you want, where you want, when you want. At least as far as Xbox is positioning itself. And, PlayStation probably has a plan for it too. It has PlayStation Now, their streaming service. Eventually, all of this stuff is going to end up in the cloud. And, so, I mean, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I got to be honest. Everybody's so angry about now they're going to have a trade-up program, and now it's phones. And it's like, calm down. There are options. There are options for everyone. And at the end of the day, if you give your consumer choice, the consumer wins and the company wins. The company giving choice gives more communication channels, more lanes for revenue, more lanes for profit. By doing that, the consumer gets more lanes for purchase and more options for purchase and more places to play games. And for that reason, I think Xbox kind of has it right. And I said it before. They have 300 million Windows 10 installs. 300 million. It makes the 40 million. Hell, it makes the best-selling console of all time in the PlayStation 2, 160 million. Windows 10 has 300 million. Double. 100% more than the PlayStation 2. Now, are those all gaming PCs? Hell no. But Microsoft would be stupid to ignore that segment. Especially when all of these consoles are essentially PCs in a box. They're essentially Steam machines. That, just happen to not have to run on Linux and not run Linux games. So, I mean, I didn't mean to get on and be preachy about it, but it's just like everybody needs to calm down a little bit and understand that the option to game, the option where you game, the option on what you game on, the option on how things are delivered, you can still get physical media. You can still do digital media. But Microsoft's on this kick where they're like, oh, fuck it. Play it on PC. We don't care. Play it on Xbox. We don't care. As long as you're in that ecosystem, they don't care. And Sony, I don't know. I mean, it just feels like I don't know how they're going to keep up. Now, that said, Sony is the PlayStation 4 as a platform. They've got the games. They have the games. But, for me, you're saying, as a high-end PC owner, you're telling me you want to play Forza? I got the wheel and stuff, playing on PC. You want to play Gears of War? You want to play it better than anywhere else? Playing it on PC. You want to play the next Halo 6? Play it anywhere. Playing it on PC. And that's a nice option to have. You know the best part about it? You don't got a PC to do all that? You can still play it on Xbox. Still play it on Xbox S. You can play it on Xbox Scorpio. And so, with Sony, you're locked in to that ecosystem. Xbox like, nah, no. We got it at the software level. They have it at the software level where their backwards compatibility is not even hardware based, which is crazy. I just downloaded Red Dead Redemption again. I'm not even gonna play it again. I just did it to see it. $750 is running better than on the 360, and you go, well, it should be. No, it's running on an emulator. Call me when there's an Xbox emulator on the internet running Red Dead Redemption better than the 360. Doesn't exist. That's some power from the Xbox. That's some power from Microsoft. And I don't think people actually realize what they're actually accomplishing right now, what it means for gaming. And I don't mean this to sound like an Xbox-centric, Xbox fanboy podcast, but Xbox has this on lock if that's your niche, if that's how you want to game. Now, on the other hand, Sony's doubled up console sales on Xbox. They've doubled it up. Sony has mind share. Sony has market share. Sony is the gaming brand at this point. And the best playing games are on Sony. Sony has the first party. I mean, and this is where it always comes down to, if you can't afford it, the best thing to do is be able to own both. But in a roundabout way, Microsoft just made it easier for you. You need your PlayStation 4 on Xbox, you can play it anywhere. And I don't mean this to sound so Xbox-centric, but it's just like, these are PCs in boxes, people. They're PCs in boxes that are playing games that, despite dev kits, most of the time are developed on PCs. That's what the dev kits are. And so I would just be cognizant of that. And just be excited that we have all of these great games. And we're seeing innovation. We're seeing innovation from VR, from the way games are delivered, from where we play our games to when we play our games. I mean, this is a great time to be a gamer. But with the announcement, like I said, with the announcement that Xbox is going to be like, we're not only going to upgrade the systems, we're not going to leave you behind. Yes, there's going to be an upgrade program. That's Xbox doubling down or recommitting to the fact that you have the option to upgrade if you want to spend the money. You can play wherever you want. You can play on whatever you want. I think it's great for gamers, and I hope Sony follows suit in some fashion. Either through PlayStation Now, or the Vita, which is dead, or I don't know what they're gonna do, but I would love to see it. So anyway, wanted to get this episode out there again. Serial at Night, and this is RetroGameFix.com. This is episode number 36, and this is Mike. See ya.